Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. In this season that we're in the country, in our churches, in our families, relationships, and friendships, it is important that we encourage one another, because much is given and much is required of us. As God bless us on our job and in our church and our ministries and our marriage and with our children, with vision, call, with purpose, it can be challenging. It's challenging because there are days that you feel like you're the only one that's going through on your job. You're the only one that's going through in your church. You're the only one that's going through in your relationships, in your fellowships, in your kinships. And many of us feel like Elijah, like when Elijah wanted to give up on ministry. He says, I'm the only one, I'm the only prophet that's speaking truth. I'm the only prophet that's going through violent attack. And then God spoke to him and said, you got 7,000 prophets that have not bowed. And sometimes we feel like, hey, I'm the only mother, only father, only man that's going through these challenges, only woman that's going through these challenges. The children, I am the only one that's going through challenges in my church or on my job. I'm the only one. But you're not. God has so many others that is going through the same challenges you are going through, the same battles you're going through, the same sickness you're going through, the same financial struggles you're going through, mental battles that you're facing. Many people are going through the same thing. Therefore, when God gives us an opportunity to encourage someone that's doing a good work, that's stirring up their gift, that's being a servant to men and women, we need to sharpen the iron. In other words, we let them know you're doing a good job. You affirm that your works are not in vain. You know, there's so many companies and so many churches and so many parents and so many married couples. We can always pick out the fault of a person. We can always pick on the failure of a person. We can always pick out the shortcomings of somebody. But when they're doing a good work, we should encourage them and let them know that you are a blessing, that you're gifted, that you're anointed, that you are definitely called, that God definitely has his hands on you. So many pastors need to hear that. So many prophets and apostles and teachers and parents and school teachers and executives and co-workers and parents and that husband, that wife, they need to hear, honey, you're doing a good job. Brother, man, you really bless me. You're an asset to our company. You know, iron sharpens iron. When we know what it takes to be a leader, many of you know that. You know what it takes to be a good parent. You know what it takes to be a servant under pressure. You know what it takes to serve in the midst of criticism and judgment. You know how it feels to be alone in ministry, alone on that job, or you feel alone in your struggle. You know how it feels. And Solomon says, iron sharpens iron. So every chance you get, woman of God, man of God, child of God, every time God tells you to encourage someone that's doing a good work, every time you see one that's anointed musician or anointed singer or a gifted athlete, let them know you're doing a good work. That's why Paul says in Romans chapter 15, he says, let the strong bear the infirmities of the weak. Let us edify one another. So not to think so much about ourselves, but edify. And I know we're living in that kind of world and that society where it says you get yours and I get mine and I compete instead of complete. But in this season of our country, we need to encourage one another. Because everybody don't look like what they go through. It may look easy the way that pastor's passing thousands of people. It may look easy for that woman raising those children. It may look easy for that person teaching that class. It may look easy for that one stirring up their gift, or that one walking in vision and actively living in vision. It may look easy, but when the curtain's down, you don't see their struggle. When the curtain's down and they're no longer on the stage, you don't see the battles of the mind and the battles of the flesh that they face. You don't know. Don't judge them by the car they drive and the house they live in and the resources they have. They may have the resources, they may have the house, they may have the car, they may have the husband, they may have the wife, they may have the position and the title, but many of them are struggling to live. So go ahead, encourage someone today, encourage someone tomorrow. Iron sharpens iron. And whatever you do for another, God will send someone to do for you.